So we're in the middle of this investigation area. We're trying to piece things together. That's forklift. Cool. Ice cutting machine. And we have this on a
Iris's estimated time of death and cause
auto
of death
scroll.
have been confirmed. The video was not a recording. It was a live stream, filmed in real time.
Which means Iris's time of death is 3:20 a.m.
But we don't know the absolute approximate death of the other dude.
Iris also had her left eye removed.
Yeah.
And like Renju and Shoko, Iris's left eyeball has not been recovered.
Right
Workbench.
here. Iris and Ota were...
I am sure you are already aware of Ota's time of death.
just before I arrived. About 3:30 in the morning.
And the cause of death.
Right, about that. Ota had a stab wound from a kitchen knife in his side.
Correct.
What was the exact cause of death? Was it the knife wound, or...?
I cannot determine that. I can conclude that the knife wound was at least close to being fatal. Even if Ota was still alive on the workbench, he was certainly on the verge of death. If he weren't already extremely weak, we would expect to see more signs of struggle.
I have a feeling we're gonna have to piece this together in Somnium one point or another.
But why? Why did the culprit put the costume on Ota?
Unknown.
That is an interesting choice by the killer. Maybe he's the dum-dum in the costume now. Alright. Bloodstain A. Bless her.
No, nothing so far.
Bloodstain B, which I have a feeling that's where Ota got stabbed. It would make sense since it was off screen.
There are only a few items on the shelf.
Is this warehouse not in use?
I wonder if it was privately rented. It's another one of those forklifts. What about the crane? Overhead crane.
Hello there.
Well, hello there.
I checked this place point by point, but didn't find
I
nothing.
know, Lars in the background. Whoa! I haven't done any afternoon streams, so during the week, so you couldn't see her. Her streams usually end before she gets home. Oh no. Guys hardly get to see Lara. I'm not doing my job correctly. Oh, there's an oil drum here. She is still playing Horizon. She had an inkling to check out Dying Light 2 today, though. That's if she beats the DLC, you know? Yeah, this is the crime scene that we saw last stream. So we're actually physically here now, trying to piece things together. So, is there any other clues? I don't know if we exhausted all the options yet. Oh, equipment.
A video camera and laptop. This is what the criminal used to stream.
He's a Twitcher. Wonder what platform he was streaming on. Probably YouTube, because they get away with everything.
All of these items have been bought from pawn shops and thrift stores. It would be difficult to determine a suspect from them.
Smart by buying everything with cash from pawn shops, so that way you can't trace them.
I have logged into the Wi-Fi in this warehouse. Okiura Fishery Co., Ltd. is listed as the owner. However, I found the password written directly on the router. Anyone who saw it could have used it.
Of course, they didn't change the password. They used the password on the router, of all things.
I have done some research. As the name suggests, the company is owned by the Okiuras, the same Okiuras we know. Renju's father created the company.
Another connection to Renju.
No, actually. Currently, Okiura Fishery has nothing to do with Renju. The company has been managed by office representatives for the past 17 years after Renju's father died. Renju holds no shares and is not involved in the management.
Okay.
In short, Renju did not inherit the company from his father, and it was instead given to other persons.
So the board, probably.
It can't be a coincidence.
It certainly is suspicious.
Yeah, he dies there where he has no connection to, except for his dad.
Officers from the local jurisdiction are checking the warehouse thoroughly. They
Okay.
did not find anything of importance here.
Yeah, you're right.
You can ask CSI to inform you if they find anything.
All right.
It's good to know that Iba will, like, tell you that there's really nothing else here. But it's still green, so I'm gonna look at it. And now it's exhausted. That's all I want to do. Making sure there's no more green text. The geysers. Beebity bop bop boo da bow. Boobity bop doop doop doo. Oh yeah, and by the way, Zombie, and anyone else watching, we are going to be streaming on higher bitrate. So that way, when we're streaming games like Dying Light on the PS5 and all that, it won't get all blurry and pixely. Because I've noticed that in the past streams. I was like, oh, yeah. When it,
Date,
I've been streaming at 4,000, and I'd be streaming at 6,000.
about the original Cyclops serial killings.
Why this all of a sudden?
Because I want you to solve this case, Mr. Date. I want you to find who did this and bring them to justice. So, if I can help you, even a little.
Why didn't you say anything at Abyss?
The boss was there. I couldn't speak openly in front of her. So, I decided to meet you here.
All right. Let's hear it.
Earlier, I told you that I was completely certain the original Cyclops killer couldn't have committed these crimes. I am absolutely certain the original Cyclops killer could not have committed these crimes.
You did say that.
Let me explain why. I'll start by telling you the identity of the Cyclops killer. Although, it's more accurate to say killers.
Because there are
One?
2?
In the first series of killings, the culprit had an accomplice. One of them was born a murderous psychopath. The other is Rohan Kumakura, the previous chairman of the Kumakuras.
Oh.
They each had a role to play. The murderer committed the homicide, and Rohan removed the eyeball.
Ah. Now, I know most likely I don't need to stream the Xbox One games at 6,000 kilobits, but better safe than sorry.
18 years ago, Rohan took a woman's eye. She was already dead. He put his finger into her eye socket and gouged it out. The reason why was simple. He was fascinated by women's eyes. Their beauty stimulated his greed and his desire to possess them. He needed to have them, to make them his own. Driven by this instinctive impulse, he took the woman's eye. From then on, he acquired a grotesque obsession with the eyes of dead women. He was very particular about his need that the eye belonged to a deceased woman. But even being the head of a Yakuza gang, there weren't too many opportunities for him to indulge. His deepest, darkest desire went unfulfilled for years. However, he soon met his ideal partner, the aforementioned psychopath. The Cyclops killer would commit the murder, and Rohan would take the eye. Thus, a mutually beneficial relationship was established. This was the origin of the Cyclops serial killings. At about the same time, you were assigned to Abyss.
And note, we don't know who did the actual killings. Yet.
That, I don't know.
The details of the original Cyclops serial killings case have become nebulous over time. Even the official investigation material contains nothing of value. I am unable to draw any conclusions from them.
You really have no idea?
If I did, I would tell you.
So who's this murderous psychopath?
He was born with a brain dysfunction. Due to damage to the posterior pituitary gland, he was unable to properly secrete oxytocin.
Oxytocin is a peptide hormone linked to feelings of love, affection, and trust. It is colloquially referred to as the love hormone. It causes a tranquilizing effect which improves mood and relieves stress. It is normally secreted when the body makes contact with an object of affection, such as an embrace or caress.
I'm sure you know what this implies, but he was unable to feel love in the way that we do. However, he was able to experience a substitute. His brain was wired in such a way that allowed him to feel satisfaction through other means. Due to the unique idiosyncrasies of his brain, he was able to release large amounts of dopamine and endorphins by performing a certain action.
What was
Murder.
Murder.
Dopamine is a hormone linked to the reward system of the brain. The pleasant feeling attained through accomplishment is dopamine. Endorphins are a kind of brain narcotic. They dull pain and create a feeling of happiness.
He got pleasure from killing people?
It's slightly more complicated than that. Killing people was the only way he could get pleasure. He was 12 when he took his first life. That
Dang.
enlightened him to the pleasure of murder, which he would do again and again.
Hey, General. General says do a flip. You gotta do a flip, Lar. It's like we're upstairs too and all that.
The original Cyclops killer had an accomplice,
There were 2 Cyclops killers.
and one of them was the former chairman of the Kumakuras, Rohan Kumakura.
Rohan committed suicide by jumping to his death 1 year ago.
Was it suicide?
That means... Pewter, tell
Doing
me.
good, doing
One
good.
of the original killers.
How about you?
I know that. But that means one remains. Who is he?
After his 4th murder, he was arrested by the police. They actually picked him up on other charges. But, in any case, he is currently serving a life sentence in Fuchu prison.
Okay.
Fuchu prison?
Yes.
What's his name?
In prison, he doesn't have a name. He is simply called Number 89.
There's a connection.
I know who killed Shogun Adami.
So, now you know why I said that. That the original Cyclops killer couldn't have committed these crimes. Because one is dead, and the other is behind bars. Neither of them had the opportunity.
So, what's my opinion on the I'm guessing on the newest Nintendo Direct? I was kind of left feeling lukewarm about it. I think the only thing that I'm somewhat maybe excited about that has my interest is the kind of the remakes for Advanced Wars and Kirby. Those are pretty much the only 2 that I got. When it comes to the Fire Emblem games, at least with Fire Emblem 3 Houses and this new one that's going to be coming out, I don't know. I don't have the same interest as I had when I played the newest one that came out for the 3DS way back when, for 3 Houses. I think that's pretty much where I'm going to leave off Fire Emblem. It's like... And actually, no, wait. This new Fire Emblem that they're coming out with is more of a Dynasty game. Dynasty Warriors type of game. I think it is called Fire Emblem Warriors, but it's pretty much the same thing. So I guess they're continuing that. So, yeah, I don't know. This new Nintendo Direct really didn't get me in a tizzy when it comes to like, ooh, I'm excited about something. Ooh, no. Pretty much everything that I would be somewhat excited about, pretty much already knew. I was kind of hoping maybe to see something about something that we haven't heard from for a few years. Maybe an update on the new Metroid game, the new Metroid Prime game that kind of got scrapped and redone because they had to redo it. I don't think Lara watched the Nintendo Direct, so she probably doesn't really have any opinions on it. Nope, no opinions. She don't have no opinions. And I would have pretty much told her if she needed to watch it, if there was anything to really catch. And knowing Lara's taste in games is like, nah, I don't really see anything that really would catch her eye. Maybe the Kirby game, but that's about it. Still waiting for Lara to play Far Cry 6 and Demon Souls. La 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 la. Gotta play them Demon Souls. Alright, let's see if we can exhaust all options here before we go. Gotta have those oil drums. It's an oil drum. It's a box. It's a crane. Yeah, Kirby looks like your typical Kirby game with a little bit more open elements to it. So if you're a fan of Kirby, you're probably gonna like that. I'm a fan of Kirby games. I like how they're doing all this stuff with Chrono Cross, but nothing with Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger, the superior game, and yet they're doing nothing with that fucking series. It's like, come on, man. Wake me up when there's a Chrono Trigger remastering or a continuation. That's what I'm waiting for. I don't give a shit about Chrono Cross. I want to see something from Chrono Trigger. I know Chrono Cross is supposed to be the kind of the sequel to Chrono Trigger, but I think a lot of fans kind of like said that nah, it's its own game. Chrono Cross wasn't good enough to be Chrono Trigger's successor. Alright, I think we're pretty much done here. Man, his getup though. He has that yellow, green, and white getup. Alright, we're going to the diner, which is gonna be kind of sad because was it his grandma or mom? All he knows about his death now. It's gonna be rough. I think it's his mom. I think. Maybe grandma. Yeah, this is gonna be good. They're probably closed for today too because of the family death and all that. I have a feeling it's a photo of Oda. Nothing to say. Nope.
This is your fault.
My fault.
I heard from the police. Because you didn't take care of Iris. My boy Ota got involved.
Date, I looked into the investigation report. Mayumi confirmed Ota's body early this morning.
I see.
I'm sorry. I want to be alone right now. Did you not hear me? I said leave!
Date, let's go.
Yeah,
She
we
is
should
in
go.
no state to talk.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, that was quick. Date's residence. Let's go there last. Let's go to the... Oh man, you have to go to all the residences. It's like after the course of murders. It's probably going to be one of the harder parts of being a investigator or detective. Just talking to family members that other family members have died. Not good.
Iris was my everything. We always went everywhere together. Whether it was buying clothes, or going to the movies, or taking a walk, or going shopping at the supermarket. When she was young, she would just hold one of my fingers. Her hand was too small to hold mine. Then it was 2, then 3, and finally she could hold my hand. But eventually, she left my hands altogether. She started crossing her arms, being independent. even though she needed constant attention growing up. Her memories are a part of this room. And always will be. When she was a baby, she fell off that sofa and cried and cried. One day she tore up her picture book all over the floor here. Another time she drew with crayons all over the window. She painted my portrait on Mother's Day. Scratches on the floor, chipped plates, burn marks on the table, stains on the cushions. Everything you see. It all holds a memory of her. But why? Oda was one of my students. I taught him in elementary school. I heard it from the police. Oda tried to help Iris and ended up... I don't know what to say. I have no words.
Hitomi, my entire focus is on this case. Is there anything at all you can tell me?
I don't know if this is important, but
No, please, tell me.
I may have told you this already. I met Renju's wife Shoko twice before. The first time at the wedding, the second time a month ago. That second time was in the waiting room of the prison.
Prison?
There's an acquaintance of mine from when we were younger. I visit them a few times a year. And by coincidence, I saw Shoko. I don't think she noticed me, but I recognized her as Renju's wife right away. She was there for the same reason I was, to visit one of the inmates.
Do you know who?
No, I don't. We didn't talk.
Which prison?
Fuchu Prison, in Tokyo.
Fuchu.
Prison?
She visiting number 89.
I'm sorry to have bothered you. I'll be going now.
I don't know what to do. Thinking about her. Dante, please, you have to catch them. Please.
She said them, plural.
I will. Trust me.
Let's go to Marvel.
Are you okay, honey?
Huh?
About last night. Well, at 3 in the morning, anyway.
You know about it?
It's on every channel. You have the face of a ghost. Do you want a glass?
I don't need a drink. I need information. Do you have anything?
Well, let's see. I do have... I suppose you could call it intuition.
Tell me.
The Kumakuras are involved in this case. Remember what I told you before? That there's a relationship between Ren and the Kumakuras? Shoko also has a relationship with them. You know about her dealings with the Kumakuras, right?
So basically, 2 of the victims are linked to the Kumakuras. That must mean they're involved somehow, right?
Not 2, 3.
3? Iris?
No, not that one. The boy. He came here last night?
Oda?
Ota?
Yes, from Matsushita Diner. He's linked to the Kumakuras as well.
How?
Have you heard the rumor?
Oh yeah, the whole land grab thing going on.
The Kumakuras own a handful of real estate companies. They of course look legit, but they're Yakuza fronts. I'll call those real estate companies the KE to keep it simple for you. The KE followed in So's footsteps. They bought up land in Kawasaki. Now, back to So. Have you heard of the plans for the casino in Kawasaki? So was the one who came up with it.
I was born and raised in Kawasaki.
Congressman.
I remember the landscape of my childhood, and I loved it dearly. But look at Kawasaki now. When I see images of the destruction on television, my heart aches like it's being chopped to pieces. But I promise you, I will revive the Kawasaki district at any cost. Casino Town Kawasaki will give new life to the city.
After that, So moved fast. He submitted the bills he needed to the National Assembly after drumming up support in the right places. The bills passed, and it became an official government initiative.
Decontamination efforts therefore increased at a rapid pace in the Kawasaki district. At the moment, the area is still considered off-limits. However, the air in Kawasaki is currently purified to such an extent that it has no negative effect on the human body.
If the plan goes smoothly, land prices in Kawasaki are going to skyrocket.
He's gonna make a
All that land
fortune.
is owned by the KE and by So himself. The land he bought back for $1 billion will be worth 10 times that soon.
He's involved in some shady business.
This is just another rumor, but the chemical plant exploding was no accident. It was done intentionally.
By So and the Kumakuras, you mean?
But there's no hard evidence of that. It's just gossip. What were we talking about again?
Ota and the Kumakuras.
Oh, right. You know how Matsushita Diner is close to the Kawasaki district? The chemical plant explosion made times hard. Foot traffic went down, sales declined. No wonder it closed down. Ota must hold a grudge. Someone caused that explosion. And if it was intentional, oh, he'd hate them even more. That's how I link Ota to the Kumakuras.
Thank you, Mama. I don't know if what you told me will lead to anything, but...
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to waste your time.
No, it was very helpful.
I'm glad I can help, even if it's just a little.
Well then, be seeing you.
Come back anytime.
Now that I'm kind of thinking about it, when it comes to Nintendo things, I guess most recent Nintendo properties I might snag could possibly be the new Pokemon game that came out. It's a 50-50 coin toss though. Maybe one day. Knowing Nintendo games, they hardly ever drop in price, so it's like, that's gonna be a really hard coin toss. Pokemon Legends, a new way to play your dried out Pokemon games. Not much to say. About Iris? Nope, nothing to say there.
Mizuki must know about Iris and Ota.
Of course. The news was distributed heavily across the internet. Not just in Japan, but worldwide. 3 days ago, Mizuki discovered her mother's body. 2 days ago, her father's. This morning, 2 of her best friends. It is completely understandable that she is at her mental limit.
Can I be left alone for a while?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's give her some space.
Aiba, contact Abyss. See if they can get Mizuki a good counselor.
Understood.
Now let's go to the headquarters. 6 floors down.
Where did she go?
Well, she isn't always here, correct?
Where would she be?
What are you doing?
I thought it would be easier to talk like this.
Kind of
What
like
do we
boss.
have to talk about?
A summary of the investigation, perhaps?
What summary? We don't have anything new.
That's not true.
Huh?
I was curious, so I did some research. About number 89.
Alright, let's talk about that.
As you know, he is an assassin with multiple confirmed kills. He is currently serving a sentence at Fuchu Prison. He was imprisoned 6 years ago.
That's what Pewter told us.
After his 4th murder, he was arrested by the police.
Unknown.
You don't know?
No such person is listed in the family registry. It is possible he is a foreigner, but his nationality is unknown. However, I believe it is safe to say that he was born and raised in Japan. Unknown. I cannot determine if they have any connection. Approximately 1 month ago, Hitomi Sagan witnessed Shoko in Fuchu Prison's waiting room. I am unable to say for certain that the person she was there to visit was number 89. After all, Fuchu Prison houses 2,000 inmates.
But number 89 knew Shoko's name.
I know who killed Shoko Nadami.
That must mean that he knew her somehow.
It is possible. Pewter claims that there were 2 culprits behind the original serial killings. One was the former chairman of the Kumakuras, Rohan Kumakura.
But Rohan committed suicide last year.
That leaves 1 culprit still alive, number 89.
But number 89 couldn't possibly have committed these crimes. He was in jail when each of the murders occurred.
Correct. However, I do not believe it is accurate to claim that he had nothing to do with the incident.
I know who killed Shoko Nadami.
If he was telling the truth, his involvement is possible.
Let's talk to number 89.
All right. However, we need not go to him. We can bring him to us. If we plan on syncing with him, it would be more efficient.
Can you arrange that?
I can.
So we're gonna sync with a psychopath? Oh man. That's gonna be a wild. His mind's gonna be crazy. So I'm kind of wondering if all the branching paths are during syncs. Is this our 89 that we know of?
Sorry to interrupt your busy day, but I need you to tell me something. I'd appreciate your cooperation.
Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso is a republic in West Africa. Population 17 million.
I don't have time for your jokes.
Yeah, I guess I do.
About a month ago, Shoko visited Fuchu Prison. Was she there to see you?
That's right.
What did you talk about?
Nothing special.
You're in no position to lie.
I'm not lying. She didn't come to hear me talk.
Then why did she come?
To meet me.
Meet you?
She probably just wanted to see me. Number 89.
Your real name?
I don't remember. A long time ago. I don't remember exactly when.
What's your relationship to her?
A physical one. I'm kidding. She was just a business partner. That's right. I was one of the culprits behind the case 6 years ago. One of the two Cyclops killers.
All right, let's get right down to it. 2 days ago, you called Investigation HQ and said, I know who killed Shoko Nadami.
That's right.
Who?
Hey, don't be so hasty. We haven't agreed on a deal. You're gonna let me out of prison, right?
It's done. You've got a deal.
All right. But to explain it properly, I need to tell you a story. It might take some time. Is that all right with you?
I've got nothing but time.
Then let's get started. The story of a lonely assassin.
Finally getting some more progression in the plot.
Once upon a time, there was a detective, full of righteous justice. Let's call him F. F found the evils of the world intolerable. F had no parents, no siblings, and grew up in an orphanage since he was born. He suffered every kind of abuse imaginable there. It led him to despise all the evils of the world. One day, F was chasing a thug down at the harbor. Someone wanted for the assault and murder of women.
Okay, I get it. I'll just throw down my knife. Here. And you lower your gun. It's fine. I got nothing else on me. I'll go quietly. You know, I have a history with hospitals. I've been going to a special hospital for a while. Even if I get caught, it's all good. I'll come right back out again. What should I do next time? Just thinking about it gets me excited.
Shot him multiple times.
The culprit was unarmed, but F never served a day in prison. The case went to trial for some time, but it was determined to be self-defense, and he was declared innocent. If the truth got out, it would be a huge scandal for the police. People at the upper level were terrified of what might happen, so they had evidence fabricated. F wasn't suspended or disciplined at all. After a while, he returned to his job like nothing happened. That was a turning point for him. He was ready to shed the morality that was weighing him down, holding him back. F still wanted justice, and he was willing to dispense it to the immoral one by one. He became an assassin, a lone gunman, no agent, no employer. He was his own man. F believed that he was judge, jury, and executioner. But it didn't last long. One day, F got rid of a criminal we'll call X. X was responsible for defrauding and killing an innocent old man for his life insurance policy. Turns out, X had connections. Someone wasn't happy that he died. Rohan Kumakura, chairman of the Kumakuras. X was a top executive of the Kumakuras at the time. Rohan ordered his men to find and kidnap F.
I've done some research. I know you've cleaned up at least 18 pieces of scum from this earth. But somehow there hasn't been a single criminal investigation. They're all treated as suicides, accidents, or natural causes. Amazing work. I'm impressed. How about you work for us? Of course, you have the right to say no. But it'll be the last word out of your mouth.
F was trapped. Even if he somehow survived, he would be looking over his shoulder for the rest of his life. He had no choice but to take Rohan's offer. Thus, F's self-employment came to an end. He became a hired gun of the Kumakuras. Rohan even gave him a code name, Falco, named for the falcon, a bird of prey.
Falcon punch. had to do it. Had to say it.
Falco didn't quit his job as a police officer, though. He worked as a detective by day, assassin by night, at the will of the organization. An ordinary killer would need motive to take a life, but not Falco. He did as he was told, one target after another. It didn't take long to destroy his heart completely. Time passed, and a few years back, Falco, who by this time was exhausted in body and spirit, made a fatal mistake. He missed his mark and ended up taking a bullet to the stomach. Somehow he managed to escape. After reaching a nearby shrine, his legs finally gave out under him. He had no strength left. He put his back up against the shrine and let out a moaning breath that he thought might be his last. But at that moment, in his darkening vision, he saw a woman approach him. He watched her take out her phone and dial for help. At the same time, he heard footsteps. Footsteps of at least 2 people closing in. He knew immediately that they were after him. He sprung into action, grabbing the woman and pulling her close, kissing her to keep her from talking. That was the first encounter between Falco and the woman. She was a teacher at some school. It was like she was from a totally different world than him. Listening to her talk, he would forget everything about his line of work. She was his only contact with the ordinary, mundane world. They met in secret a few more times, and Falco felt his heart grow warmer. Her smile and kindness were like a cold glass of water for Falco's parched heart. Falco started to become himself again, his former self. He swore on his life that from then on, he would live for her.
So, you want to go clean? Fine. Do as you please. You've done a lot for us. But there is one last thing. One final job I want you to do for me. It's nothing major. This woman and her daughter. I need you to dispose of them. Should be simple, no?
Rohan handed Falco a picture of a woman and a girl. It was the teacher Falco met at the shrine. And her daughter. She had just turned 12. Why the 2 of them? Rohan, as usual, never gave a reason. And Falco had no intention of carrying out the kill. But if he didn't, he knew that someone else would. He thought long and hard. How was he going to keep them safe and get out of the life of crime? He couldn't find an answer, no matter how hard he thought. He was backed into a corner. So, he decided to call on an old friend for help. And then...
So he's gonna keep the story kind of closed up.
Was that the whole story? Why did you stop? What's the connection between that and Shoko? You mentioned a detective.
He's not saying shit.
Hey, answer me.
This is a transaction, remember? Until I get a guarantee that you'll uphold your end of the bargain, I'm not telling you anything else. I'll give you half up front, half later. If you want to hear the rest of my story, you better start the release procedures. Once they've cleared, I'll tell you everything.
Date, it is unlikely that number 89 will uphold his promise, even upon release.
Pewter,
Yes?
start the preparations.
For what?
What do you think? The sink.
He doesn't know about the sink. Wonder how hard this one's gonna be.
I have injected number 89 with the usual dosage. He will not be waking up anytime soon. Are you ready, Agent Dante?
Yeah,
The time limit is 6 minutes.
I know.
Then let's begin.
I have a feeling this is gonna be somewhat of a tough one.
Sup?
No, not sup. Why are you sleeping on the job?
Because I want to, obviously.
Why are you getting mad at me?
Yeah, this rug feels so good on my skin, yeah.
Why are you suddenly a cat?
Playtime's over. Let's begin.
Stand up.
Is this the Sagan residence?
It definitely is. But why?
Number 89. What were you up to?
Making babies.
What? The green. I do not think I can pass through it.
Really wants to hide it, huh? Okay, new plan.
Somnium scan. Activate.
Mental Lock 1 is on the phone, Mental Lock 2's somewhere, and Mental Lock 3 is at the window. 4 is at the door.
This appears to correspond to the green thing.
Since we can't get closer,
A switch. But there are thorns around it.
can't flip it, can't remove. We probably can't remove the thorns.
A winter iris that blooms in the cold.
I know, I know.
It smells like a typical winter iris.
What does a typical iris smell like?
Elegant and gentle.
Can't you just tell me what it smells like?
I had to search online for a description, but could not